Welcome. Today we're going to be discussing the technique striking Serpent's head, its execution, and things that you should know about its execution, and some things that could go wrong. So, let's talk about the ideal phase. The ideal phase is a front bear hug arms free as opposed to arms pinned, which we have other techniques for. This one was our arms are free. So if you notice, most people will turn their head this way. If he was taller, potentially he could be looking over my shoulder. This is making the assumption he's not turning his head all the way this way. It won't change how we do the technique, but it will change where you hit on the technique. So it doesn't really matter which way he does it. Just keep in mind it could be both ways. So let's turn this way so that you can see the initial maneuver. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be stepping back, very similar to what we're going to be doing in clutching feathers, but we'll talk about that in just a second, and when we turn back to the other direction. But what I want to talk about here is what's happening with this left hand. What we don't want to do is turn this into a circular strike. Okay, what we want to do is we want to back up mass in front of the weapon. So do this again. We don't want a circular pattern. Doesn't matter whether his head is straight or circled. The only difference would be if it's straight, I'm going to be hitting to the back of the head. If it's side, I'm going to be hitting to the temple. Either way, what I want to do is a straight line with backup mass in front of the weapon. So let's talk about that stance. What I want to do is something very similar to what we're doing in clutching feathers, is I want to set first and then establish. So I want to set and then settle in my weight. Okay? So it's very similar. We're almost doing a jet lag and then settling to do the hit. And assuming he's going to be grabbing, we then hit straight back on. Now, the next thing that we want to do is, let's turn back this way a little bit so that you can see, is we're going to come over the top. We don't want to lose our contouring. What we want to do is after we get this hit, we just want to shoot straight over the head and we're going to grab the hair. Let's turn this way again. If he does not have hair like this person, what we want to do is take our fingers and stick them in their eye sockets and then pry them back. The problem that you'll see is people will pry up. What you want to do is think of sitting this person down onto my knee. So it would be target to weapon, okay? So what that means is if I drop him, notice that his target hit my weapon. What you can do optionally also is bring that up and hit, so they're both moving at the same time. Keep in mind that this part is optional. If they don't hit your knee, that's perfectly fine, and if you can't raise your knee up to hit them, that's perfectly fine. It's really not part of the ideal phase, but it's a nice added extra if you can get it. So we do our grab and our pin and our drop, and now notice this right hand. What you don't want to do is do the pin and the drop and then raise the right hand, making a cock and separate motion. What you want to do is drop and pin at the same time. Now this is true weapon to target. So what you want to do is you want to be hitting down at that angle rather than up at that angle. So what you want to do is continue that drop down. So if they didn't sit on your knee at that point, once you do this hit, that's going to help hit right into the groin, right into the knee, and hit at the same time with the half knuckle into the throat. Okay? Then at this point, you can cross out and cover if you wish. We're left in the middle of the technique. You could do more stuff if you wanted to. The ideal phase does none of that. So let's review this again. Bear hug, arms free. We want to step and establish our weight, going backwards on a straight line to get backup mass in front of the weapon, not a hook. We then want to contour up, get into the eye sockets in this case, or hair grab if they have longer hair. Settle them in, get the cock at the same time, hit into the throat at a downward angle, cross out and cover. Okay, one more time, slightly faster without any explanation. Up. Hope this video helps you. Thank you very much.